I'm Teresa Willet. I've been working for Clovel for 19 years. I'm actually the educational leader, which I've held that role since an educational leader basically became a role, essentially. Prior to that, I was a nominated supervisor where I oversaw the program and things like that. So we wanted to look into digital programming pretty much to save time. There's a lot of documentation requirements in the childcare sector, and so I was looking at any ways that I could buy back time for my staff. So ways that we weren't duplicating things, ways that we could do something once. Previously, we would have to, write things up and then print the photos and then stick it all in and those types of things, where we wanted something that would just be all in one go. We do our daily reports for parents, so like a daily reflection, where we reflect on what's happened, activities the children have been engaged in, relationship building, all of those, all areas based around the EYLF. We also use it to communicate with families. So we send out daily reports to the families on what their children have been doing with photos, things like that. We also use it for notifications for families, just if we've got something happening within the centre that we want them to be involved in. Families use it to communicate back to us, if the child's going to be absent for the day as well. It's all one step. Everything, it's removed probably, I worked out it was about a 7-step process previously to being on Kindyhub, and now it's literally one thing. So what used to be 7 steps is one thing that we do, and it covers all 7 parts of that. So it's a massive time saver. They love it. They love every bit of it. All positive feedback, and I think they love Kindyhub so much from a family point of view because they get something. They'll be sitting at work and a notification will come through and they can see what their child's been doing. They can see, the happy smiling faces, and especially when a parent leaves of a morning and if the child's not happy, and then all of a sudden they get this photo that's come through of them engaging in an activity where they're happy. They can see the relationships that they've built with the staff, things like that as well. The assessors were really impressed with Kindyhub based around the inclusion of the EYLF, because that's all about Quality Area 1, which is the Early Years Learning Framework. And so the inclusion in that and how that is embedded into the program and every day of our running of our centre. And also just in relation to the communication with the families, because that's also another one, is like partnerships with families. So it's the communication, the parents being able to be included, not just with what we're doing at the centre, but with what is happening in the home life, to bring that back into it, because it's making that relationship and forming that bond with the families easily. The educators have responded extremely well to the process. I think they love it. When we first went onto Kindyhub, one of the things that I kept asking for feedback on it, and all I kept getting was positive feedback. The girls find the time that they've brought back for themselves, and they're able to do this while they're sitting with the children. So they will be actually sitting in an activity, engaging in an activity with the children, but they can actually start to process the whole form. They can go through, they can take the photos, they can start to write up their observations, and it's real work. It's not something they've got to reflect back on and look back on. It's happening there and then. Documentation in the early learning centre is probably extremely important. It's something that not just to get a great rating in your quality improvement, but also based around it's children. We're in this industry for children. We're in the industry to develop children. So I know that all of my centres are literally doing a great job in that area, because the documentation's proving that. It's proving the interactions, and it's proving the actual quality of the program. So through Kindyhub, one of my favourite, I think it's one of my favourite tools, is that when we send out reports or we send out a communicate or an email through Kindyhub, it shows you who has opened it and who hasn't opened it. So straight away we know if a parent hasn't opened it, that parent hasn't actually received that communication, so we know who we need to then go and verbally speak to. We also know the ones who have opened it, we know that they are getting this information. So it's such a wonderful tool to actually have. The support at Kindyhub has been amazing. So one of my services, or one of my team members, had an issue, and it was a technical issue. It wasn't a massive one, so she sent an email off, and then she literally got response of how to correct that. We did have another issue that we were having at our service. It was nothing to do with Kindyhub, but we have spoken to them, and they've done everything in their power to try and assist us to be able to rectify that. In turn, it ended up being an internet issue, but we have managed to fix it, but that was through the support through Kindyhub.